Welcome again to Comments, Questions, and Concerns. My name is a.k.a. So, passport bros. I was having a conversation with a young lady. Okay, I'm in my 50s. She's in her 50s. I call her young ladies because I feel young sometimes, and so does she. She is 5'2", and I would say closer to the obese side, and I'm working on my weight as well. So I would consider myself being at 6'3", 295 pounds, a little bit bigger than I like, and I am a work in progress. But on the sexual market value, this woman, I would consider her to be, without makeup, fresh out the shower, I would say 3, possibly 4. Again, she's 5 foot, she's less than 5'5". Okay, definitely on the obese side, but she works very hard, has a great job, works a lot of hours. And she was complaining how she couldn't find a good man. And somehow we got on a discussion of the passport bros because she had seen a couple of videos and she was saying a lot of bad things about those guys and that they were just going to other countries to take advantage of women and maybe some under 18 years of age. And I kind of explained to her, well, even though some of that does go on, the men that I'm talking about are professional men who have worked hard, kept themselves out of trouble in the West, mainly in America, but I can only talk about the ones that's in America. Those are the ones I know. And they could not find a good woman in America, a traditional good woman in America that could marry and raise a family. So I was explaining to her, because she was thinking that because she makes, I think she makes a little bit over 100K a year. But again, she works very hard, a lot of hours, and she travels a lot. That these men that she's met who are, oh, by the way, she's only attracted to tall men. Mind you, she's under 5'5". But she's only attracted to men who are 6'3" or taller. And I ask about the man's weight. She says he cannot be obese. He can be a little overweight, be a little chunky, but cannot be obese. So I'm looking at this woman and I politely tell her, ma'am, on the sexual market value, for most men, you're about a 3, maybe a 4. And that the men that you're trying to get involved with, that you would one day want to marry or have them ask you to marry you, have a lot of options out there because they have a lot to offer, because these men, and she's only dealing with men that can make some serious money, 100K or more. I said, ma'am, they have a lot of options. Yeah, they might take you out, they might take you home and have a little snuggling time. These men are not going to marry you when they've got all the choices out there around the world that are way better, especially on the sexual market value, than what she was. So she looks at me with a straight face and said, what are you talking about, Mr. Calvin? You're a 2. So that tickled me. Now, personally, I don't look at myself as a 2. I might give myself a 5, average to 5 to 6. But as a man, I don't expect a woman to just look at me based on how I look. But a woman that I plan on marrying would look at me as, hey, can this man protect me and can he provide for me? So I told her, look, I'm 6'3", almost 300 pounds, retired military, former law enforcement officer, former athlete. I played a lot of basketball. But still, I feel that I'm more than capable of protecting and providing for a woman. I own my own home. Well, I don't own it outright. I have a mortgage that I pay. I'm the only one on the deed. I drive a beautiful Lexus truck. It may not be brand new, but it's not that old. I have my own money and practically retired. I get up and go when I please, how I please. So I said, all right, let's say I'm a 2, okay? And I have options all over the world. Don't have a criminal record. I have a passport. I've traveled overseas many times before. I said, ma'am, let's say you take what you have to offer overseas. Okay, fine. You're making a lot more money than I am. If you can't find the man you're looking for here, go to other countries and try to find the man you're looking for with the criteria that you have. 6'3", making 100K or more, and is willing to marry you. I said, that's never going to happen. These men overseas have options as well, and most of these places like Thailand, Philippines, South America like Brazil, Venezuela, once everything calms down, just so many different countries where these women are absolutely beautiful, where the majority of them are a 7 or above on the sexual market value. Why would these men not look at their own women in their country, but choose you as a wife? She says, well, it's because they want to come to America. I said, okay, fine. Maybe some of these men want to come to America. But if this man is making that kind of money, he has the resources to do it legally and get into America just fine without no issues. But as far as a wife, a man like that is looking for something that's fit, feminine, friendly, and beautiful. And most likely someone that is willing to promote his legacy by having children with this woman that he's planning on marrying. Now we're talking about not just dating, not just friends with benefits, we're talking about marriage here. Because that's the only scale I'm looking at, marriage. I don't date anyone unless I'm thinking about long term that, hey, this is one day someone that could be my wife. Because I'm no longer on the market where I'm dating 5 or 6 women at a time. Oh, I said, if I go overseas at 6'3", almost 300 pounds, making between 50 and 80K a year, American money, because what she doesn't think about is that there's a transfer or an exchange, not a transfer, correction, an exchange rate that in most countries, $1 may be worth 100, 200 of whatever dollar or money exchange in that other country. Excuse me. So now if I take myself over there with all these single beautiful women that's walking around who are looking for a husband that's going to be able to protect them and provide for them, I'm not going to have that much of an issue meeting or finding one of these women who are willing to get with me and talk about a marriage contract and living a wonderful life together and building a family. Now, even though I'm in my 50s, I've decided I will not have any more children. So I made sure I took care of that with a vasectomy 12 years ago. But still, I have the resources. If I choose to date someone or marry someone that already has children in that country, I'm able to take care of them extremely well. So she says, well, these women are just getting with you because they know you're an American, you can bring them back here. No, ma'am. If I was to do something like that, I would live in that country. I would not bring her back here to America and expose her to all the feminism and all the negative things that go on here when she has a beautiful and wonderful life with her family there. She may not live as comfortably as she's like, but she's met a man with the resources that could take care of her. So, as a man who's got his stuff together, who's worked very hard to stay out of trouble, have a couple of degrees, have read hundreds of books in my lifetime. Yeah, sure, I'm not a rich man here in America. I might be middle class, but in other countries, because of the exchange rate of the dollar, and also because I'm not going there looking for any shenanigans, I'm looking for something that's going to be long term, like a marriage. I, as a man, or men like me, have a better chance of finding a beautiful wife than on the sexual market value who's a 6 or 7, possibly above, than she would if she went over there, her looking like a 2 or a 3, even though she has money here in the United States. But again, she's working very hard here. So if she was to move to these other countries, there's no guarantee that she's going to get a good job making that kind of money. That's most likely not going to happen. She's basically kind of starting all over again. The men over there are not going to give up. They're beautiful women that they're around who are submissive to what their needs are, who are willing to keep a home and raise their children the way they know, because that's how these women over there in these other countries have been trained to be a good wife and homemaker. Those men are not going to give that up because you're an American woman who's less than 5'5" and who's obese, just because they're trying to get a green card, especially if this man is making that kind of money that she wants. So yeah, that was an interesting conversation. And when I put it to her that way, she kind of sat there for a few seconds, looked at me and said, well, I have a cat at home that loves me, that I take great care of. She says, I have plenty of toys. And she says to me with a straight face, there are plenty of women out there who are hitting on me that can do exactly what you want to do to me. So I was like, you kind of made my point. So I say to the passport bros, blue book gentlemen, the men that are out here doing right, they're getting there or have gotten their lives together, and they have the resources and the means to get a passport and travel and visit other countries and are looking for a traditional, beautiful, fit, feminine, and friendly wife. Live your dreams. Travel the world, go overseas. There are plenty of videos by other men out there that are who have gone overseas, who are basically telling you what you can do legally to move to these countries, how you can survive legally, making good money in these countries, and find you a very beautiful wife and live a very beautiful and comfortable lifestyle. So don't sit here and let these women bash you and try to use all the sign language to convince you that, hey, you have to put up with their shenanigans. Sign language, from what I remember from Mr. Kevin Samuels, was the shame, the insults, the guilt, and her need to be right to keep you here or in America or in other Western countries to be unhappy when you've worked hard enough to go and get exactly what you deserve and what you're looking for. So again, passport bros, live your dreams. Be well.